This video tutorial I will explain RESTful API example with Spring Data REST. Spring Data REST will auto-create RESTful APIs based on domain model and repository. All we have to do is we have to extend JPA repository. And we will see one example so that you will understand. Here you can see the project Spring Boot Data REST demo, and I have opened pom.xml file, and here I have included the dependencies of Spring Boot Starter Data REST, Spring Boot Starter Data JPA, and MySQL connector. Here I have defined the class book, which is entity class, and it has three fields: ID, title, and description. And ID value will be auto generated. For that, we have put this annotation, and it has getter and setter methods for these three fields. Here I have defined the interface book repository, which extends JPA repository, and here I have given book model and ID as integer. And based on this book repository and domain model book, the REST API will be auto created by Spring Data REST. We will see that. In application.properties file, I have defined database URL which points to book database, and here you can see book database is there, and there is no tables, and username and password of database, and driver class name, and DDL will be auto created. For that, this property is there. Here I have defined the class application, which is Spring Boot application. I am starting this Spring Boot application. The Spring Boot application has been started, and if you see, the table book is created automatically. Refresh, and here you can see book table is created. It has three columns: ID, description, and title. ID, description, and title. Based on this domain, these columns are created automatically. Now we will create a new book. HTTP method should be post. Click on body, raw, click on JSON. Book title is Spring Boot, and description is Spring Boot tutorial with examples. Click on send, and here you can see status we got 201 created, and we got the response. Click on refresh, and here you can see ID is auto generated, and title is Spring Boot, and description is Spring Boot tutorial with examples. We will create one more book. Click on send, and second book is created. Title is Java, and here you can see we will create one more book. Click on refresh, and one more book is created. Title is JSON. And if I want to get the book which has ID 3, then click on this, and request is get request. Click on send, and we got the book which has ID as 3. Give 2, we will get book details of the ID 2. Suppose we want to get all the books, then use this URL. Click on send. We got all the books: Spring Boot, Java, and JSON. Suppose we want to update the book which has ID as 2. Then we have to use this URL. Use HTTP method as patch. Click on body, click on raw, select JSON. Now what I am doing is I am changing the description. The current description is Java tutorial with examples. I am changing to Java tutorial with 1000 examples. Click on send, and here you can see description is updated, and we can check in database, and here you can see the description is updated. Suppose I want to replace the book which has ID 2, then we have to use this URL, and HTTP method should be put. This is the URL, and HTTP method should be put, and pasting the content. Title I am going to change Java 8, and description is Java tutorial with examples replaced, and current title is Java, and this is the description. Click on send, and here you can see the book has been replaced with the title Java 8 and this new description. Refresh, and here you can see title is Java 8 and new description. Suppose I want to delete the book which has IDS 2, then we have to use this URL, and HTTP method should be delete. We will test that. ID I am giving as 2, and HTTP method should be delete, and send the request. And status we got 204 no content, and the data has been successfully deleted. We can check in the database. Click on refresh, and you can see the second record is deleted. You can get Java source code link from the description of the video. In mobile, to see the description, click on this icon. It will expand like this, and here you can see the description. It contains Java source code links. Click on these links to get the Java source code.